MS Teams meeting. It's pretty late outside, it looks dark, and I'm so happy that you are here and sharing your data with me and your Friday night evening. So on the cards for tonight, we have C++ arrays, right? We're going to work on arrays, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened with assignment 1 and the due date, and I'm going to start with assignment 2. Okay, so while we're waiting for a few latecomers to pop in, anybody wants to talk about assignment 1? You can unmute yourself and or just shout out. Anybody? There was some issues about the due date. Talk to me about that.
Yes, I think you're. Hi, Mr. Govender. I think you are right with the due date.
Is that Luke?
That's me.
Luke?
That's
Hi,
me.
Luke. How are you?
Good, and you, sir?
Well. Good. Tell me about the due date. What happened?
Yeah, you are correct. It has been extended.
Great. Yes.
I
sent numerous emails. Great.
Yes.
When, Luke? Until when?
I think you are right about the 22nd or the 23rd. It's around about that time.
Okay. But Luke, I'd actually suggest you try and submit it as soon as possible because assignment 2 is due at the end of the month. And if you're going to wait until you finish assignment 1 and then you're going to start assignment 2, after you start assignment 1, you're not going to have time to finish up because it's a hell of a lot of work to cover for assignment 2. The other thing is you would have noticed how I submitted announcements on my UNISA, where you had to basically, if you look at my announcements pages, I was keep on mentioning the due date, and I mentioned submit your assignment on time. Oh, I edited it. Yes, you are in an automatic extension. And the reason I did this is I want to kind of push you into a schedule so that you complete your assignment 1 and you get ready for assignment 2 basically. Plus, I know some of you have lots of other modules to study, like I've got wife 201, that's my joke, children 203, dogs 401, work. So all those other modules will come into play. So you have to try and keep to the due dates, work in advance so that you can, you're not stressed out at the end of it all. Now, if you look at assignment 2, I'm sharing my screen. Let me share the share. I just want to share it quickly. Assignment 2, it says it's multiple choice assignment. And I've received a few questions in terms of there's some errors in the questions, but I'm not going to tell you which one it is because you need to work through that. Now, very importantly, it's due on the 31st of May. So Luke, you told me that the assignment 1 is due on the 22nd of May. And some people are leaving it for the very last 11th hour. That means they are basically going to have about 10 days to sort out assignment 2. And guess what? It says there's no extension for this assignment. This assignment is submitted on a mark reading card. So you basically can't ask the lecturer, please do something for me, give me an extension or whatever, because it's a computer that's marking. And look at this, it's 20% of your year mark. I think I read the end of the guide and it says that the mark for the exam is 80 and 20% will come from your course mark. That's a hell of a lot of work to get to lose out on. Then there's 60 questions. Choose one option in every question. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll give you a basic rundown of the questions in terms of what I feel is important and how you need to tackle it. And I'll start with arrays. Is that okay with everybody? Oh, I'm getting a lot of people coming in. There's Nabil, there's Matthew, there's Pablo, there's Sam, there's Tumelo, there's Glad. It's a good sign. Great. Let's start with the motivation for an array. If you look at my screen, let me go and share my screen again. Share my desktop. So that's screen 1. So this is taken from your text. Is it okay if I continue? Is there any questions? Anybody would like to stop me? I can't see your hands being raised. Or is there something in the chat? Oh, Tumelo says evening, everyone. Good evening, Tumelo. Hi, Luke. Oh, I already greeted you. All right, so let's take a program that that's without any arrays in there. So I want to prove to you the value and the motivation as to why and how we need an array. So if I look at the program, it says, oh, average of 3 marks. Well, this is not average of 3 marks. This has got the average of 10 marks. So let's go and put down 3 marks over there. And it says using namespace, right? So I've got 2 variables there, mark and total, and float is average. By now, you should have been okay with this. You would realize that for assignment 2, you can't say, oh, I'm going to leave out assignment 1, I'm going to start with assignment 2, and you'll be okay. That's not how it works with programming. In order to answer assignment 2, you must make sure that you understand all the concepts from assignment 1. And in assignment 1, they were talking about variable declaration. They were talking about initializing a variable. In line number 8, this is initializing a variable. I'm basically setting it to 0. If you looked at assignment 2, there's a couple of questions on initializing arrays, initializing strings or char, and you are setting it to 0. So here's my loop for int I equals 1. I'm starting my loop at 1. Now for arrays, they actually started at 0. In computer programming, it's kind of weird. They start counting from 0. So I'm going to start, if I wanted to, I could have started from position 0. But for the purposes of this program, let's start from position 1. When I come to arrays, I'll talk about that. This is the loop that I incremented. Now in arrays, when I give you the definition of an array, you'll realize why a loop is so important out here. The loop has to start from a particular value and it ends at a particular value. And within that loop, it's incremented by 1. And the array that I have, am I losing you?
No.
And the array that I'm talking about, what happens is, I don't know why I get the sound in my headphones that I'm reconnecting with someone. Okay, so there's no declaration of an array. I'll give you a little hint. Array has 2 square little brackets in there, right? When I'm defining that. In this example, let's run it. Let's build and run, build and run, build and run.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. Hello. I think your screen is not sharing. I can't see anything.
Am I back online? Hello? Great. Okay, I don't know what happened to my connection out there. I dropped you for a second or two. I'm going to switch my video off for now, right? So let me go back to the program that I was talking about here. Right, so you should see on your screen, it will say enter a mark. And I'm going to take a mark 10. Enter another mark, I'm going to say 5. Enter another mark, I'm going to say 15. Now you'll notice in my test data, I'm taking values that I can add. I'm not going to take 200, 275, 235.2 or whatever. Take values that you can understand to get to grips with the output. The average is 3. So I'm quite happy with what I see out here. And you'll notice I did not run my program for 10 values. If my program can run for 3 values, it should be able to run for 10 values, and then I can expand it to 100 or 200 or 300. All right. So let me go back to my code blocks, and I'm looking at my code blocks. There we go. There's my screen. Now, if I wanted to change this for 10 values, 10. Notice that this is important because in one of the questions in assignment 2, they talk about the end value of an array. So in this example, there's no talk of an array. I'm simply entering 3 values, and now I've changed it to 10. I'm starting my loop from 1 to 10. So let me now go to the definition of an array. So on screen, I'm going to share my, go back to the definition of an array. And all right, so here's my definition of an array. It says an array is a data structure storing related data values of the same type. So all the data in the array will be, all of them will be integers, all of them will be floating values, or all of them will be string. That's what I mean by the same type. Structs are data structures for storing related values of different types. So they're already introducing you to the concept of a struct. The struct is similar to the array, but within a struct, you can get 3 or 4 different data types. So you can get a string value, you can get a character, or you can get an integer value in there, right? Okay, so are we cool with that? So basically an array by definition, I like this definition that I found somewhere. It's a set of homogeneous elements. Homogeneous, homo means all the same. Homogeneous elements, data elements, and it has a definite starting point and a definite ending point. All the elements in the array are the same. Now, because it has a definite starting point and a definite ending point, it gives you a hint that we need to use a for loop. So let's talk about this one-dimensional array. A one-dimensional array as compared to a two-dimensional or a multi-dimensional. In a one-dimensional array, think of it as a row of data. Each one is put in a row as if you are standing in a line. All of you are standing in a line to get your vaccination shots. I hope that's pretty soon, right? I'm going to stand in line. Then all of us standing in a line, all of us are human beings. All of us are waiting to, we have a position 1 and position 10. But like I said, in arrays, we start talking from position 0 to position 10, right? So in effect, I actually have it from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not including 10. And that's important because one of the questions in assignment 2 deals with the concept of the ending point of the array. So this is the example that I ran in code blocks. I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm going to now start with the example on page 279 where they talk about an array. So let's because I'm rushing for time, I want to save you data. I'm going to do a copy and paste. I'm blocking that. I'm going to say copy, open up my code blocks. Let me go and change my sharing, and I'm going to share my desktop. Right, share my desktop. So you should see the old program. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to paste. All right, so you just got enter marks. I'll go through the program with you. Let me go now to page 280, and there I am copying it. Control C is to copy. And aren't I a fast typist, Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Sure I am. Right? I'm copying and pasting because I'm trying to save you some time, because the longer you stay on MS Teams, the longer you're going to have, you waste your data. So let's look at the way they've defined an array. So in line number 5 is where I'm defining my array. This is the name of the array, exam marks. And you'll notice the convention they are using. Because marks is a new word as such, M is in capital letters. There's my square brackets, This is your array index. It basically accesses each element of the array. So think of it as a block of flats with only the ground floor. There's no second floor, third floor. And I'm living in flat number 0, flat number 1, flat number 2, flat number 3, flat number 4. think of it like that. So in this flat, there's 25 elements. You'll notice in the array, there's a loop, like I mentioned to you from the definition of an array. An array, all the elements are the same. There's a definite starting point. So our flat number is flat 0, and it goes all the way to flat number 24, not flat number 25, right? So I'll have flat 0, flat 1, flat 2, flat 3, flat 22, 23, 24. Here's my C out. Assignment 1, question 1 should bring you back, give you some memories out there. And when I'm accessing my array, I access it by means of its name and its index. So if you are going to call me, you're going to call me, oh, Prinovan, and I'm indexed by the son of so-and-so, right? So that's probably your analogy to think of how I'm accessing the elements of an array. If I want to access all the elements of the array, I need to run from 0 to the end of the array structure. Similarly, if I want to output the elements of the array, C in becomes a C out. Now, I'm not going to run for 25 elements. I'm going to run for, let's make it 5, right? And that's a bit too much to run. So let's run for 5 elements. So let's do a build and run, build and run, build and run. So let's enter your marks. So Vincent scored, oh, a high mark, 90 in his test. Luke scored 94, and Sam scored 90. And I can see Simran out there. Simran scored 89. He just missed the 90. And Tumelo scored. He also scored 89, just like Vincent. So now it's simply displayed. The marks are 90, 94, 90, 89, 89. So if you'll notice, all the values in the array are integers. I never typed in 90.5, 94.2, and I didn't enter in any characters. Again, that's by definition of the array. I'm going to pause there while I have a sip of my orange juice. Do I have a question? Speak. Is there a question? Hello?
I'm fine.
Pablo.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, Sam, go ahead.
No, I said I'm good for now. I'm good. I'm clear with everything.
Okay. Oh, I'm happy that you're good. So if I look carefully at my program, I didn't do anything with it. I did not add the numbers, subtract the numbers, find the average or anything of that sort. But let me give you a hint about programming and me being so long in programming. One thing that they always do is that they ask you for the total. They want you to find out the total of something, either a total of prices, the total of marks, or a total of something or the other. If you wanted to do that, you need to do that within the loop when you are entering it in. So let's consider me adding in something of that sort. So this is how I do total TOTAL. This is one way of doing it. Total plus exam marks subscript I. So in order to access or to add each element of the array, I will do it within a loop and I'll run the loop. So talk to me, Luke, or talk to me, Sam, Gareth. Would this work? Would this would this program compile? Yes, Sam. Oh, okay. Sam's maybe having Let's build and run. Build and run. Let me build and run. Build and run. Oh, there's a red line there. Let me go to my view. Go and view the logs. Oh, there's the logs available at the bottom of my screen. Let's see what's the error message. It says total was not declared. Oops, I forgot to declare total. So let me go and declare total. And total is an integer value. Why? Why it's an int? Because I am only entering integer values. But if you want to make sure, you can always declare it as a float because float covers both integers and floating values. So let me now see if that helps. Build and run, build and run. Remember from last week and the week before, every small little change that I do, let me do a build and run. And it says Total defined but not used. Oops, I got to use it.
Done by-
TOTAL.
Sorry,
Oh.
sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, please go ahead and ask.
I see 2 dots before the equal sign. Is
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Thank
Okay.
you. I did that on purpose to check if you're paying attention. That's cool. Yeah. Let's do a build and run. So in a build and run, yay, it seems to be working. So let's go and enter in the marks, right? This time it's not our group, it's somebody else. It's let's say it's 10 plus 20 is 30, 40, 40 plus 40 is 80, 80 plus 20 should be 100. Oh, I forgot to output the values. Right? So I ran the program. Any program has input processing and output. So let me go and output this C out. The total is and TOTAL. So let me run the program, build and run. And this is not marks. Let's call it prices or something, right? So 10 plus 20 is 30, plus 30 is 60, 60 plus 20 is 80, 80 plus another 20 is 100. Yay! I got 100, right? So what I did in this program is in line number 7, I initialized my variable. That means I set it to 0. In line number 8, 9, 10, and 11, I entered marks in. There's my input. In line number 12, I did a computation. In this computation, I added every single entry in the array, and I added it to total. In line number 14 and 15, that was just an output statement. Line number 15, 16, I displayed every value in the array. Now, if you notice, I don't have a open curly bracket, close curly bracket. That's because I only have one line after that. And finally, in line number 18, I displayed the total. Now, in my previous example, which I overwrote, I did not have total is equal to, I had total plus equals mark. It was without the square brackets. So this square brackets gives you an indication that this is an array. Sam, you okay with me? Sam, you cool? Yes, no, yes. All right. Right, Sam's right. So let's continue. So what I've done in this example, I declared an array. I went and put values into the array. I stored it into the array. I did a computation with it, and I displayed the values. Now, in this example, they talk about, or this little case, they talk j is equal to 4. That means I'm specifying a particular index in the array. You'll need this information to answer the assignment questions. There's the total plus equal to exam marks. Oh, I could have went and found the average. Now the average can only be found after I find the total. This is the story about working like the recipe example from assignment 1, where we spoke about order is important in a program. You'll need to go through all of this and use my example of copying and pasting and running the program to find out how it works. You have to run all these programs. And after you run the programs, I want you to do the exercises. There's the do while. This is from assignment 1, the validation part. You need to do the, I'm looking at the lessons. You did it. You went through all of them. I'm running. And there's the important exercises on page 24.1. Now, your lecturer has actually given you the solutions. It's posted somewhere in one of the additional resources on my UNISA. Work through the exercises before you start the assignment. Right? Work through 1 or 2 exercises. Work through 1 or 2 examples from there. All right, so the next thing is, let's not jump to arrays as parameters. What I'm going to now do is I'm going to take the assignment question. Again, a minute or two. Do I have a question? Is there something in the chat? Sam, you should have told me there's somebody typed in something in the chat group. Am I the only one not seeing the shared screen? Just rejoin the meeting again. Tumelo, Tumelo, I'm sorry, I do have a shared screen available. Tumelo, are you there? Hello, Tumelo.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Great. Can you see the shared screen, Tumelo?
here. Not as yet.
I can see it. I've actually got my MacBook open as well, so I'm able to see what you are able to see.
Yeah, I've got someone else's displayed here on.
Okay, okay. You should. You can always. I'm recording it. You can always watch the recording at the end of it all.
Okay, no
All right.
problem.
So may I continue, Tumelo?
Yes, you can continue,
Right.
sir.
Let's look at assignment 2, question 1. In this example, they talk about array declarations. Look at that. So const stands for constant. That means I have a value that does not change throughout the running of the program. Right through the program, it'll stay 10. So num mels will be 10. Values with a square bracket tells me that this is an array from my little program that I had running. They want to know which one is a valid access to the array. Aha! So what you should do is, without me giving you an answer, is look at the way we accessed an array in our program. Look at the way they define an array. Look at the index inside here. If there's 10 elements, would there be an element values -1? Would there be a values 11? Would there be a values 0? All right, that's what you need to consider for that example. In question 2, it says consider the following code segment. Now this is a typical examination question. They'll give you snippets of code and they'll ask you to complete the code. For you to be able to complete the code, you need to guess what's happening in this example. And very often your ability to guess would be from the way they've labeled their variables. For example, maximum. That would tell me that they're looking for the maximum value. Minimum, that will give me a clue that it's minimum. VAT, that means they're talking about value added tax. Or an example like total, that will tell you, right? So in this example out here, it says for I equals 1, I less than number of mels. Now we know that num mels, I assume, is from the previous, the size. I plus plus, if grade I is greater than maximum, maximum is equal to grade subscript I. Now they are telling me that if an element of the array is greater than some value, I need to go and store that value inside the variable called maximum. So this is the story sum that you must talk to yourself in the exam, or talk to yourself. I mean, I know it sounds a little crazy, but you're not talking to yourself, you're talking to the compiler, you're talking to the assignment, right? Oh, I really miss having not to see you guys as students. I can't see the, the smile on your face, the ha moment, all that goes with it. So that's what I mean by talking to yourself in this example. You can also write a little program to see what's going on in here, right? Let's look at question number 3. Consider the following declaration. There's my array declarations. Again, which of the following correctly outputs the 7th element of the array? Now remember I told you that elements of an array, they start from position 0 and they go on to position 1 less than what it is. So if I want the 7th element of the array, how would I get that? Maybe you can even consider writing a little program to do that. So if I had to take my program from code blocks, and here's my code blocks example, is it next to me? All right, so it's code blocks here. I'm going to have the array is called values. So where I have exam mark, I'm going to call this VALUES, right? Values, and how many in there? It should be 10, right? So it's 10. So this is what I mean by writing your own little program to find out what's going on and using the compiler to do that. And then you go and put down out here Let me see. I don't need all of that. I won't need that. And I need to go and store values inside there. So if you notice from the next example, it says values is equal to 10 with the equal to sign, and I'm going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and well, I actually should have 10 values, but I'm going to change this to 5. It's too much to type in, right? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So there's my values there. Let's do a build and run, build and run. Oops, it says warning unexpected end. What's the story there? Expected a terminator.
Put the
Okay.
commas there. The two things at the
Right.
end.
I didn't put the two things. Okay, thank you, thank you. Again, I'm checking if you're paying attention. Right, that's the whole thing. I forgot.
Attention. Sir.
Oh, goody, goody. Then what's missing there? Oh, the two things at the end, right? You said the two things
Yes.
at the end, right? That two things. I'm gonna from now onwards. Who was that? That was Sam.
Babalo.
Babalo. Oh, okay. Babalo, thank you for the two things at the end, right? Oh, yes, it's working. Wow, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. So now I want to say C out. I want values subscript 3. So let's see what value subscript 3 gives me. Let's do a build and run, build and run. Oopsie, am I building and running somewhere there? Yes, it's still building and running. So let's do a Babelo. Is it Babelo? Babelo.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now it said, whoopsie, Babelo, it says, I want to display the third value. So it displayed 8. Is that the value now? Value 3. Babelo, is it correct? The output.
It starts from 0, so value 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is.
It is right. Now let's change this. Now I don't want value 3. I want value 8. Ooh, let's see. Would that? What would that give me, Babelo?
It's an error. We don't have.
No, man. I don't make errors. Everything I do is right. Ooh, Babelo, where did this come from? 4198653.
Maybe it's the
Oh,
memory of the storage or something.
yeah, memory of storage or something. I think you're right, Babelo. You're right. Let me run it. Let me run it again, Babelo. What's gonna happen now, Babelo?
Not sure, sir.
Let's build and run. Build and run. Oh, -2. Is that something there? -2? No.
No.
So what I'm trying to get at over here, Babelo, don't say I'm teaching the wrong thing, that your subscript must be within the range of this array. So I need to consider if I put down value subscript 2, that's going to be the answer of 0, 1, 2. It's going to give me an answer of 6. Right, Babelo? Yay, yes. Babelo, give me a clap. Give me a clap, Babelo. Clap for me. No, man, you can just clap on the applause on the top there, you know. Babelo, check applause. Oh, but thanks for the clap as well. Can you see the little clapping emoji at the bottom of your screen? Oh, 2 claps I got. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is what I mean when I talk about writing a little bit of code to see what happens in your program. Let's look at the next one. Consider the following array declarations. What is the value of length 1 and length 4? So again, if you wanted to, you can write a little program out there. Let's be a little whoopsie. So you write a little bit of code, Control-C, copy, and let's open up my code blocks. And right, so that's where I'm declaring my array size. And they asked me to find out what's the question? What is the value of length 1? So this time I'm going to ask for. Now you'll notice in the exam you don't have the compiler to help you, but by then you should be cool, pretty good working with your program. Right, so let's do a build and run. Oopsie, what's happening here? Build and run, build and run. Right, so let's do a build and run. Oh, that's my dog at the background. Right, sorry about that. All right, so it gives me 6.4. So 6.4 is length of 0.1. So if again, Babello, is it Babello? So I'm starting counting from 0, 1, which is 6.4, which is perfectly correct. I'm not going to do the next question for you. Babello, are you there?
I'm still here, sir.
Yes. Am I right, Babello?
Yeah, so
Where's my clap?
okay, let me there we go.
Yeah, thank you, Babello. Right, great. Right. Now I'm not gonna I can't answer the next question part of the question for you, right, Babello? Because tutors are not supposed to help you all with the questions. And programming is something that you got to struggle and work on your own, because you get to grips with your lovely sense of accomplishment, right? So don't copy anybody's programs. In fact, somebody on the WhatsApp group, they posted the solutions. I messaged him privately and I said, please take it out, because I want the students to have the joy and the satisfaction of working a program and seeing it compiling. So I'm not going to do the next part. You're going to do that one, right, Babello?
No problems.
Right. Great. So let's look at the next question. Consider the following. Ooh, now they come up with something else. Char. This actually stands for character. Character is a specialized array, if you want to think of it like that, which means it only has one value in there, right? So again, you're going to see it running. You can copy the declaration into code blocks. In fact, all you work like this with code blocks, right? So there's my declaration for my specialized array, a character, and in there, position 0 is S, position 1 is A, position 2 is M, position 3 is P, I, E. Oh, it stands for something. Sample. Cool, right? I'm not going to show you that. You need to work on that. Or maybe if you're pretty cool, maybe next week we'll have another lesson. Let's look at question 6. I've got 60 to go through, and it's already 1937. In this example, there's a function header. Ooh, believe it or not, you're now jumping into functions. But if you go to my little video on YouTube, if you go to arrays, there we go, right? You go to arrays. In this example, I have a little program, and the program talks about an array and a function and a passing of parameters. So watch it if you can, and do me a favor, please click on the like button. I only get like, 10, 20, 30 likes. I want to get like 100 likes or 200 likes. Okay, Pabelo, you'll do that for me. Sam, Luke. Oh, Luke,
Okay, quick.
It's because you're doing smart work. That's why you only get a few likes.
Ah,
Smart people work.
Oh, cool. Yes. It's quality, Luke. Thank you. Let me see how many likes I got on this one. So you go to the YouTube and you can check it out, right? So let's go back to this example. Now you'll notice I have a function. So you got to start reading up on those lessons on functions, and you're also doing a parameter passing. And they also want you to take returns the maximum value. So you have a lot of work to cover for question 6, and you got to it's not that easy. Not only that, let's look at question number 7. Now they talk about a 2-dimensional array. So a 2-dimensional array is similar to a 1-dimensional. It's like now you have a flats, and then there's a first floor, a second floor, a third floor. So if you want to access a flat, you need to say the flat that you're going to go to is on second floor. It's at column number 2. So that's what's happening in question number 7. And again, maybe next week, if you want a lesson, I'll have a lesson with 2-dimensional arrays, right? But for now, I'm just pointing out to you how far and what you need to do for this assignment. Let's look at question number 8. Question number 8 talks about rows and columns. Here's your 2-dimensional array. Now, in a 1-dimensional array, you need a for loop. In a 2-dimensional array, you're going to need 2 loops. Haha. And in a 3-dimensional array, how many loops are you going to have?
3 loops.
3 loops. In a 4-dimensional array,
Obviously, for loops.
Pabello, thank you, Pabello. Yes, for loops, right? But don't worry, we don't go that far. In COS 1511, you stop at two-dimensional arrays. This is actually called a nested loop. That means it's a loop within a loop. That's the only way you are going to access a two-dimensional array. Now, let me tell you something else. If you don't understand the way a loop runs, which was from assignment 1, then you're going to struggle with an array story. So if you're finding difficulty with storing values in an array, go back to lesson on for loops. In this case, you'll notice that the for loop starts from position 0. Is there a question, Sam? Yes, Sam, go ahead.
So I've been looking at your videos on YouTube, but there isn't much about functions. Just when I search for functions on YouTube, I only find C programs, no C++.
No programs on functions. No videos on functions.
It's only functions on C and other programming languages like C++ is hard to find. Yes.
Okay. If you go to the, I'm sharing my screen, Sam. This is a program on YouTube. If you click on this function, it's 5 minutes. There's it. Right. So I'll share this link with you in the chat, Sam. This program runs functions and arrays. Right? Hey, I got 91 views. Luke, 91 views. Okay, but it's from 2016. Oh boy, Luke, never mind. You're gonna make it 92, right?
Yes.
So please,
yes, of course.
Sam, there's the. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So
okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. I'll like it.
Sam, this is just for you, Sam. It's in the chat. Watch this little video of mine, right? And if you want more videos, Sam, please just send me an email and or post it in the chat in the discussion forum, and I'll make an email, right? Because I'm practicing to become an actor. Sam?
I'll do so.
That's a joke, Sam. Sam, that's a joke. Okay. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop my C++ video. Right. So am I back with you guys? All right, let's go back to the assignment question. So Sam, I'll make you a video if you want, just for you. And so in this example, they're talking about a two-dimensional array with rows and columns. Let's go to this question here, void display. Sam, this is in the YouTube video that I have on functions and arrays, but it's not two-dimensional. Now, in question number 10, they say, what will the output of this program be? Oh, this is so easy. Do you want me to do this, Sam?
Question?
You know I can't do the answers, right?
What question is that?
Sam, you there?
Yeah.
Chimelo?
What question are we on? Hello?
Okay, I can't do it, but it's very easy. You could type this out or copy and paste it into the compiler and you see what's going on. But I'd actually like you to do a variable diagram, a trace through it to see what's happening in this program. And I've already given you a little hint. Look at this, result plus equals array 1 temp. Result is equal to result plus array 1 temp. This looks quite familiar. Sam? Does this look familiar, Sam?
Yes, it does. It looks easy as well.
Sam, you are unmuted. You can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I did put a question mark on the question. When
Sam, doesn't this look familiar?
It does look familiar.
It's similar to something that we've done. Okay, I'm not going to tell you anymore. But look at it, right? Go ahead and run this. What is the output of the next program? There's another one. But watch this thing here. It runs from 0 to 8. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or is it 8? Hey, I'm not sure. You need to run that program. Again, another question, what is the output of this program? Okay, so you'll need to run the program or type it in or do a trace to see what's going on. Again, in the exam, you're not going to have the luxury of having a compiler or a computer with you. How and what are you going to do? Let's look at this question. Question 13, it says, the following statement declares alpha to be an array of 25 elements. 25, 25, okay, of the type integer. They're not telling me whether it's a two-dimensional array or a one-dimensional array. If I look at number 3, that tells me that gives me an indication that it looks like a two-dimensional. This one tells me it looks like a two-dimensional. Oops, I'm not sure now. I think you'll have to go through that, right? But let me give you another hint. When you're writing your exam, go and look at all the declarations. Can you see that? Int array. Look at this. Int alpha subscript 25, int array alpha 25. Let's look at question 14. Assume the following declaration. Char name list 100. Which of the following range is valid for the subscript of name list? 0 through 99, 0 through 100, 1 through 100, 1 through 101.
It's
Sam,
easy. It's
by
easy.
process, don't give me the answer. Give me a wrong answer. Which one are you definitely going to strike out, Sam? You think
I'm striking out
doesn't look right.
I'm striking out 1 to 100 because it has to start from 0.
Sam,
I'm
Sam, are
striking
you
out
there?
1.
I can see your photograph, Sam. You got your camera on.
Yes, I'm striking out 1. All the
Come
ones
on,
that
Sam.
start 1.
See something.
There.
Okay, type it in there. I think
Okay,
number 4 doesn't look right because it's going to 101. I don't know, but you'd have to find that out. Question 15, which is a valid element of beta? So they're telling me that inside beta, the array beta, there's 50 and all of them are going to be int. Again, what's the definition of an array? Homogeneous elements. All of them are the same. All of them, if you declare them to be int, you'll have to only store integers in them. All right. Now, which one of the following is a valid element? Which one looks like a valid element? I'll leave that to you. Right. Question 16, assume the following declarations. Immediately you see number of rows, number of columns. It gives you an idea that it is a two-dimensional array. And I need to, which one will change the value of 27 to 55? So where is 55 out here? They say which statement will change the value of the element with the value 27 to 55. So there it is here, it's 27. This is which row and which column and how will it change it to 55? Question number 17 talks about array of 50 elements. All of them are type float. Which one correctly initializes an array? Initialize means? Initialize, what does initialize mean? Sam, you're unmuted again, go ahead.
It's basically declared.
Initialize means you are setting it to 0, right?
Now.
Oh yes, that's what they're doing. 0, 0, 0.0, 0.0. Now, there's the hint. It tells me that all the sales is an array of type float. If it's of type float, and I want to set every element to a floating point number, there's some hint between 3 and 4. 3 and 4, it's 0.0. But look at 1 and 2, it's only 0. There's your hint. By a process of elimination, you can strike out something. Yes. And then they tell me that there's 50 elements in there. 50 elements. This is your upper bound of your array. Upper bound and lower bound. Your upper bound, does it include 50 or does it exclude 50? There's your hint.
Yes.
Similarly, in question number 18, list of elements, type integer. What is the output of the following code? This will appear all the time in your assignments and in your exam as well. Any assessment, they want you to find out what is the output. Here's your trace table, your variable diagram. They want you to go through the program and find out what is going on and ultimately what will come out of the program. What is the value of alpha after the following code is executed? This is a snippet of code. This looks, there we go. There's your little computation, 2 times j plus 1. And don't forget our rules of board maths. You know, multiplication comes before division or brackets first or whatever. What is the output? Look at that, j minus minus. Now, if you don't know what j minus minus is, then you won't be able to answer this question. I'll give you a hint. It's dropping in value. 22, what is the output of the code? Subscript, or another word for subscript is index. Suppose it's gamma is an array of 50 elements of type int and j is an int variable. Which are the following for loops? Okay, that talks about the upper bound and lower bound of the array. Consider the following declaration. Which of the following is equivalent to the statement? So int alpha 357911, 357911. Oops. Number 2, process of elimination. Is that right? Int for they left out this. Now what happens when they leave out the index? Does it count it by itself or does it leave it alone? And what about the curly brackets versus square brackets versus round brackets? Look carefully. Which of the following correctly declares name to be a character array? Character char. The number of elements of alpha is how many elements? This is a 2-dimensional array, rows and column. Consider the following statement. Which of the following list is true? List has 10 rows, 8 columns, or 8 rows and 10 columns. They're talking about a 2-dimensional array out here. Question 28. The statement about alpha, what are they talking about? Aha! You are declaring a 2-dimensional array, and they want you to find out where does it is the lower bound and where is the upper bound of the array. Right? Let's look at 29, 30, and I'm going to, or maybe I should just, no, I'll stop at 30 and leave some for next week. So next week is the 14th, today is the 7th. It's the 14th, that's in a week's time. So let's plan on you working through half the assignment and going through the lessons so that you can answer and submit by the 31st of May. 31st of May, but we're not going to leave for the 31st. Let's do it on the 30th. Maybe there's load shedding again. Maybe you run out of data. Maybe you have to attend a wedding or go for your vaccination shots. Oh, don't go for weddings. Just remember that. Wear your mask, social distance, all that goes with it. Right. So I've got it's 19:53. I've got about 5 minutes. Let's talk questions. Sam, do you have a question? Thank you for keeping your video on. I like to keep your video on. At least you're paying attention to me.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sam. Talk to me, Sam.
It's Pavel, sir.
I'll put my video on too. Right. Ta-da. Again, I told you, Vincent, I'm in the back in the lovely mountains here, and it's bright and sunny outside. Do you have a question?
The first question on assignment 2.
Question time. Thank you for staying till the end. I can see quite a number of participants. There's that stayed. There's Andiswe, there's Garrett, there's Luke, there's Nabil, there's Pablo, there's Sam, and there's Sitembiso, there's Tumelo, there's Takalang. Yes. Talk to me. Don't worry, I'll record this and I'll post the recording and on YouTube, and you can all be famous. So Sam, you've got your video on. You're going to be famous. You're going to be on my YouTube channel. Make sure you tell all your family and friends to go and click the like button. Okay, Tumelo? Sam?
No, I was
hello, sir.
Right, ask me a question. You've got a minute or two. Is there a question?
Back to question 2.
Luke, how about a question or a comment? Say hello, how are you?
Oh, how are you, sir? No, everything you've
Luke,
explained
go
is
ahead.
excellent.
You.
Everything you said is excellent, sir.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you. I love that. You do well for my ego. You good for my ego. Yes. Anybody else? Simran is there. There's Luke. Oh, that's Luke. I can see you, Luke. Put your camera back on. Okay. Luke, thank you. Oh, Luke's got a lovely fan in there. He's got earphones. Yeah, thank you, Luke. Right. Great, Luke.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's that? Sam.
I want to ask about question 1 of assignment 1.
Oops. Okay, that we did like 2 weeks ago. Okay, go ahead quickly.
Oh no, question 2, assignment 2, sir.
Oh, assignment 2, question 1.
Yes.
Okay, let me put that up on screen. Because assignment 2, question 1. What about it?
When they say constant int normals 10 and then they say values normals, does it mean
Yes.
that normals stores 10 variables?
Yes,
So
that's correct.
so that means in the array values will have 10 elements.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, so you understand
Um,
what an array.
Hi, sir.
Hi, who's that?
It's Timbiso, the quiet guy.
Hello, Timbiso, the quiet guy. How are you, Timbiso? How can I help?
I'm good. How's everyone? Yes, sir. I just wanna ask also regarding question 1. When they say constant int normals, isn't there supposed to be an equal sign there which says equals 10?
Okay, now you're fishing for some answers out here, right? Constant. Oh, you made a good point out there. So they haven't put an equals to sign. Oh,
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, they did that in question 3 as well. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. But and look at question 4, how they put it in. Const int array size equals 7. Oh, well, you got an eye for detail. So if you want what Sithambiso,
Yes, yeah.
put that into code blocks and it'll verify that for you. Right?
Okay.
If you're not sure
Thank
of
you, sir. I'll
anything,
do
you
that.
run it in. Right? Let's do a build and run now, right? Let's do a build and run. Build and run. Oh, look at that. It gives me an error, Sithambiso. It says expected initializer before a numeric constant. Error, nums was not declared in the scope. So I'm going to put my equal to sign out there. Let's do a build and run. Yay! So I think you should inform the powers that be that there is an error somewhere out there. What do you say, Sithambiso? Hello?
Oh, sorry, sir, I'm on mute. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think
Sorry. I also do
there
that.
was an error there.
Yeah. What do you think? Maybe you should write to some people out there that says, hey, what's happening out here? You're declaring a constant value and you don't have an equal to sign. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm so happy you picked that up.
Okay. You're welcome, sir.
Right. There's the proof. There's the proof you have out here. All right. There's the proof. All right. Thank you for that question. Anybody else with a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm speaking to
Sam.
Sam. Hello, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, no. The first question that I was asking was question 2, where it's on the answers it now gives us maximum is equals to grade. What's this? And then the numbers inside, which is 0, 1, 100 and numerals. but then on the maximum, it wasn't said what is the number on the maximum. So like, what do we have to do when it comes to that?
Okay, so they are telling you that there's something missing in this code. Can you see that line above it? That they want you to find out what's missing. So I'm not going to give you the answer. I want you to struggle a little. You need to try and figure out what's going on in here. Like I said, sometimes you as a programmer have to look at somebody else's code, which is happening out here, and you've got to interpret what they're doing. And very often, the way they label or they name their variables gives you a clue. So this kind of tells me, by using the word maximum, that after that they run through all the elements of the array, they want to pull out the maximum value. So if you think of a set of numbers, or I like to call, consider a deck of cards. So you have like 7 or 8 cards, and you constantly compare a number to a card so that you get the maximum number out of it. And we can only compare 2 at a time, isn't that so? So if you have 7 and 9, you compare the 2, you say, oh, 9 is greater than 7, so let maximum take on the value of 9. Then you compare another element from 9, you compare it to 6. Oh, no, 9 is still larger than 6, so you leave it alone. So that's all the hint that I'm going to leave you with. All right, Sam, you've got 3 weeks to do this assignment. It's now the 7th of May. It's due on the 31st. I want you to struggle a little bit on it. All right. But I've given you a hint. Does that help you? Sam, are you there? Yes, Sam. Okay. Any more questions? Sam seems to have lost us. Anybody else?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Sam.
Can you hear? No, I was
Yes,
saying
I can.
thanks for that. I do understand that, but don't forget that the 3 weeks that you're talking about, we still have lessons to go through as well.
Yeah. What about your other modules you got to study, Sam?
We still have other modules to do as well.
Yes. What about wife 101?
Yes.
Yeah. You got wife 101, huh? Shh, don't let her hear how you're talking about her. Right. Okay. So you got 3 weeks. You got 60 questions, 21 days. If you do 2 or 3 questions a day, plus the lessons, plus everything else, you should be able to finish. And there's no extension to this one, huh? No extension. So make sure that you get it done.
I'm just having difficulties with functions, but I'll go through that video that you sent me.
Go through that video, go through the lessons, and a function is a snippet of code. A function, in fact, don't tell me you're having difficulty with functions. You are actually writing a program in a function. You can consider main as a function. So you've already started.
The other one, where there's 2 functions and you have to call the function. That's what.
Okay. Think of it like this, Sam. You need to have your supper prepared. So you're going to call upon your function to do that, right? Who's your function that makes you your food?
Wife.
The wife, right? So you're going to call wife, and she's going to pass you parameters. Oh, I can see a smiley face there. And the parameters that you're going to pass her are that you want 2 meals with dessert, all of those. And the parameter passing is going to take place with her hand. So her right hand is going to pass across a parameter, which is the plate of food, and you're going to accept it with your right hand. I'm going to leave you with that story about functions, but you're already experiencing a function, okay? What about other functions? You get wedding functions, birthday functions. Okay. Right, you need to go through that lessons, Sam. You must. I'm only seeing you for 60 minutes once a week, and you need to spend at least 3-4 hours a week on programming, maybe more. All right. Any more questions? Going once, going twice. Going once, going twice. I'm gonna.
Sold.
Sold. Oh, okay, great. Right. If you're interested, I'll see y'all next week, and I'll stop. Oh, I forgot to stop the recording. Let me stop the recording. Here we go. Start the recording.